How to write good report. Here are the main sections of the standard report which can be followed for writing a report. Title section. This includes the name of the author S and the date of report preparation. Summary. There needs to be a summary of the major points, conclusions, and recommendations. It needs to be short, as it is a general overview of the report. Some people will read the summary and only skim the report, so make sure you include all the relevant information. It would be best to write this last, so that you will include everything, even the points that might be added at the last minute. Introduction. The first page of the report needs to have an introduction. You will explain the problem and show the reader why the report is being made. You need to give a definition of terms if you did not include these in the title section, and explain how the details of the report are arranged. Body. This is the main section of the report. There needs to be several sections, with each having a subtitle. Information is usually arranged in order of importance, with the most important information coming first. Conclusion. This is where everything comes together. Keep this section free of jargon, as most people will read the summary and conclusion. Recommendations. This is what needs to be done. In plain English, explain your recommendations, putting them in order of priority. Here, some reports are too long, around 300 words instead of 250 to 265. It covers the task, has the right structure, the paragraphs are coherent and are logically connected by elegantly used linking words. The structure of sentences is fine, and so is your vocabulary. It will provide liberty to the students to modify according to their own choice. 1. The coronavirus infection has been raging through the country. Write a report on the precautionary measures taken by the shops and markets in your area to prevent the spread of this disease. WBPSC Clerkship, Part 2, 2201. COVID-19 Precaution, Shops and Markets Created Instance. By a staff reporter. Midnapore, May 19th. Coronavirus has created a pandemic situation in the entire world and has clawed India very badly, praying 10,000 fresh cases every day. SARS-CoV-19 alias COVID-19 is a highly infectious disease ever known, having the power to infect those vulnerable with weak immunity or having comorbidity. The disease spreads through sneeze, cough, and touch from an infected person to anyone who comes into close contact with the infected one. After a long lockdown of 3 months, daily lives of people have begun in an unnatural and unaccustomed way. Shops and marketplaces start opening but maintaining precautionary measures, following COVID-19 protocol as mentioned by the World Health Organization and the government together. The stalls in the marketplace have been shifted to an open ground to avoid gathering, and places are specified to build makeshift tents for the sellers, keeping a gap from one another. To maintain social distancing for the customers, circles have been marked in front of the shops, and wearing of mask is a must for everyone coming to the marketplace. Disinfectant has been spread before the opening of the shops and again after the shops being closed every day. In the doorway of the shops, sanitizer has been kept for the use of the customers, and entry of single one is strictly maintained. The chairman of Midnapore Municipality, Mr. Subir Khan, stated, the correspondent, people have encountered problems in getting daily commodities and crowds in the marketplaces. Shops would make the situation worse. The municipality tries best to lessen the pain of the mass. It's 2. Election to the House of People in India has just been completed. Write a report in about 250 words on the importance of election in democracy. Importance of election in democracy. By Adrish Samanta, Hooghly, June 06. Democracy, as the definition goes, is of the people, by the people, and for the people. In democracy, the supreme power is vested in the people and exercised by them directly or indirectly through a system of representation, usually involving free elections. Election form the very basis of democracy, and it is the very tool for shaping a government. In a democracy like India, according to the Constitution, the methodology of elections is through universal suffrage, whereby every citizen over 18 years of age is eligible to cast vote. Elections take place every 5 years to elect representatives for the House of Parliament, for the Legislative Assembly of the states, and for the panchayats. A committee is set to monitor the whole electoral procedure from the preparing voters list, maintaining the process of vote and the results. In the process of vote, fairness, safety, and privacy of the electors is strictly maintained. The election procedure just shows how important and crucial it is for a democracy. The process is very grand and takes place on a great level, following a method of secret ballot. Elections offer the citizens the right, by casting their votes in favor of the candidate or party, to elect their leaders as representatives who work for the country and make brighter future. They provide a way to the people to assert their voice, choice, and opinion. Elections enable a person to become a part of the government without any discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, religion, and sex. Elections, as they empower the citizens of democracy, entrust a great responsibility on the citizens and on the elected persons to look after the well-being and advancement of the citizens. The process of election ensures fair play and dishonest means get prevented so that no rigging of any political party happen. Hence, fair and regular elections are a vital part of democratic government. Elections work as self-corrective system whereby political parties review their performance and try to appease the citizens. 3. As the secretary of your co-curricular activities club, you visited a slum area in your city where the people suffered a great loss of life and property in a massive fire. The students of schools and colleges of the area rendered their services and material help to the victims. Write a report in not more than 200 words for a local newspaper. Write XYZ in lieu of your name, address, etc. if needed. WBPSC, Miscellaneous Mains, 20,211. Slum incinerated, panting in need of help by XYZ, Secretary, Co-Curricular Activities Club. Dum Dum, June 10th. A huge devastating fire broke out in Adarsha Nagar, a slum area at stone's throw distance of Dum Dum Station in the morning yesterday. A dark cloud of smoke spiraling upward as the houses, mostly made of thatch, were on fire, and the unrestrained conflagration engulfed the whole area within a short span of time. Out of sheer panic, the inhabitants raised hue and cry and started throwing water and sand available in the vicinity, but all their efforts were in vain. When the fire brigade arrived and began rescue operation, the fire incinerated everything, leaving only the ashes. None is reported to be injured or missing among 200 people of 50 families lived in the slum. The police started to find out the exact cause of the fire, but it is presumed that the cause of the blaze would be the bursting of a kerosene stove. At present, the victims are living under the open sky in utterly miserable condition, without food and water, rehabilitation from the government. The students, by the inhabitants, were badly in need of help and donating monetary and material help for the victims. The SRSHNs, SRSVM stretched their generous hands by DAs, the secretary of the forum said. The plight of the people reached the slum with dry food and clothes for them. Jibish of this slum has propelled us to collect money and clothes from our school and come here to render our service for these Havenuts. The students were also given old books collected from the school so that they could carry on their learning. 4. Study the information below and write a newspaper report within 100 words on Royal Bengal tiger invades a village in Gosaba block. Points: Gosaba, Sundarban, 16th February evening. A full-grown Royal Bengal tiger lifts a cow. Attacked one inhabitant tiger trapped in a cowshed. Villagers guard the shed. Forest officials arrive. Tranquilizer used. Tiger caught and released in Core Forest. See Sergeant of Kolkata Police Mains, 2023. Royal Bengal tiger invades a village in Gosaba block by a special correspondent. Gosaba, February -17. The Sundarbans of West Bengal has its rich heritage of the natural abode of the Royal Bengal tigers. Recently, few of this famous species emerge out of the dense forest and enter into the villages in the precincts of the jungle. On 16th of February last in the evening, such an incident happened when a Royal Bengal tiger came out of the jungle and invaded Gosaba, a hamlet near the main island. It was a full-grown tiger that suddenly stalked into the village, lifted a cow from a cowshed. On being alarmed at the mooing of other cows, the inhabitants came out. The furious tiger attacked one inhabitant who suffered from minor injuries. Finally, they managed to trap the predator in a cowshed. The villagers then guarded the shed and informed the forest office. A little later, forest officials arrived in the spot and tranquilized the tiger. The royal creature was caught and released in the core forest. 5. Study the information below and write a newspaper report within 100 words on a severe earthquake in Tokyo. 5th May, Saturday, Tokyo, 10 to 28 a.m. Strong earthquake in Tokyo and its neighborhood 5.5. On Richter scale epicenter, southern part of Ibaraki Prefecture intensity of earthquake 3 at Tokyo, 5 at Gunma and Tochigi Prefecture bullet train services suspended. WB Sub-Inspector of Police, Mainz, 2221. Severe earthquake hit Tokyo. Tokyo, May 5th. A severe earthquake hit the capital city of Japan today at 10:28 a.m. Tokyo and its neighboring areas felt a strong wave of the earthquake that measured 5.5 on Richter scale. All the city dwellers got frightened when the initial tremor was felt, and then they became immediately alert and came out of their abode as soon as possible. In the southern part of Ibaraki, the official information revealed the intensity of the quake was 3 in the scale, whereas at Gunma it was 5. There was no news of huge destruction caused by the earthquake because the quake lasted for few seconds. As per the report of Tochigi Prefecture, bullet train services were suspended for an hour as to inspect if there was any damage caused by the earthquake. 6. Write a report for a popular daily newspaper on the following topic, in 200 words. Computer games a curse to childhood, suggested points, what childhood meant, how the childhood used to be in early times, how it used to help the physical and mental growth of a child, how the computer games have entered into the household's effect on brain development, health hazards, remedial measures. Sochi Civil Defense Mainz 2022. Computer games a curse to children. Kolkata, Jan 15. Childhood is meant for sports, games, fun, and amusement without having any kind of anxiety of life. In earlier times, childhood used to be spent by playing different types of games with friends beside the daily routines of school and homeworks. Games are an integral part of education for children. Physical activities in games make children energetic and pave a way for learning in different situations. Games not only initiate physical growth of children, but also prepare their mental health. They become physically strong and mentally advanced to bear the daily drudgery of student life, as well as a kind of knowledge is automatically generated in them to compromise themselves in any kind of adverse situation. They become aware of industry, perseverance, and intellect grown in them through playing different games. But today, in this so-called Android age, children have no idea of outdoor games since they only know how to play games in computer or in mobile phone. Computer games have no benefits in them. They lay an adverse impact on children. They become introvert and prove to be dull at school subjects. They become vulnerable to many health hazards, and their brain development gets hampered in playing computer games. There is only a remedy for this malpractice. Children are to be sent to play outdoor games in the playground every day, at least for an hour. 7. Write on the importance of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's contribution to society using following points. WB Sub-Inspector of Police, Mainz, 2020, an ocean popular running and kindness, visionary and great educationist, established Bethune School for Girls. A great social reformer framed laws for remarriage of Hindu widows. Exemplified honesty, integrity, and self-respect, a progressive thinker. Contribution of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar to society. Mother India has given birth to many a luminary in her lap. Ishwar Chandra was one of the luminaries whose ever-luminous light enlightens the Indians perpetually. He was an ocean of learning and possessed unfathomable kindness in him. In those days when India was under the British rule and the Indians were groping for an evacuator in the darkness of ignorance, illiteracy, and superstition, Ishwar Chandra came of like an angel. He was a visionary who had a keen foresight. The need of education, not only for the men but also for the women, was his first mission. A great educationist, Ishwar Chandra, composed Varna Parichay for the beginners. He endeavored to open girls' school in Bengal with a medium of vernacular language, side-by-side English. Bethune School for Girls was the fruitful effect of his untiring effort for opening girls' school. That Ishwar Chandra was a great social reformer was evident when he met the then viceroy and framed laws for remarriage of Hindu widows. Nevertheless, many widows would be burnt alive in the pyre with their old husbands. Ishwar Chandra is the living incarnation of exemplified honesty, integrity, and indomitable self-respect. The British government was also impressed by his impressive personality. His progressive thinking rendered India get literate inhabitants to become united and build up strong protest against the injustice of the British. His passing away has made an irretrievable loss for India. 8. Write a report on the effects of COVID-19 on society using the following points. WB Sub-Inspector of Police, Mainz, 2020. Sudden spread of virus administrative methods to control the spread, physical and social isolation, lockdown phases quarantine centers' role of doctors and frontline workers, sufferings of migrant laborers' impact on economy and education, Corona pandemic created panic. Midnapore, March 15th, COVID-19, a novel viral disease announced as pandemic by the World Health Organization, WHO, has created panic around the globe. The disease starts with the symptoms similar to a common cold, and it takes 8 or 9 days to shatter the immunity of human body and attack the respiratory system severely, leading the infected person to his final fate. This disease is transmitted through contact by hands, nose, or mouth. According to some veteran medical practitioners, the common signs of the infection include respiratory tract inflammation, fever, cough, shortness of breathing, and in acute cases it can cause pneumonia, severe respiratory syndrome, and even death. Patients with different comorbidities like high blood pressure, diabetes, chronic kidney disease are more vulnerable to infection. The sudden and unprecedented spread of this virus has made the world confounded to decide do's and don'ts. There are administrative guidelines to control the spread of this fatal disease. Since this is a highly contagious disease, we should not gather in a place but keep up physical and social distancing to break the chain of connection. To prevent the spread of infection, we should follow medical guidelines strictly as to wash our hands very frequently with soap or hand wash liquid. We should always use alcohol-based disinfectant or sanitizer, cover mouth and nose with 3-layered musk or handkerchief, and use tissue paper while sneezing or coughing. The government has rightly taken the decision of lockdown just to isolate people, and making of quarantine centers for the suspected is also justified. The doctors and the frontline workers must be praised to render their selfless service to treat the infected persons or to keep the people indoors. Amidst this grim situation, the suffering of the migrant laborers is really sorrowful. Their plight knows no bounds as they lose their job and find no way to return their homeland. COVID-19 has laid a remarkable impact on the economy of a nation and has given a blow on the education, leading to closure of educational institutions for a long time. 9. Draft a report on Women's Reservation Bill gets Parliament seal. Women's Reservation Bill gets Parliament seal by a staff reporter. The Indian Express, New Delhi, 22 September. History was scripted on Thursday night when the 128 Constitution Amendment Bill to 2023 that seeks to reserve 1/3 of seats in Lok Sabha and state assemblies for women was passed unanimously by Rajya Sabha, a day after it sailed through Lok Sabha. The prolonged and seemingly interminable wait for parliamentary clearance for women's quota in legislatures ended on Thursday on an emphatic note. The unanimous 214-0 vote, after a debate stretching over 11 hours, cleared the way for the government to secure the president's assent that was a prerequisite yet a formality to pass the bill. Once enacted, the Women's Quota Bill Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam will automatically be applied to assemblies of all states and union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. Government sources told the correspondent that the amendment does not need to be ratified by half the states, because it is Parliament which has the prerogative to decide the strength of assemblies which have no say in the matter. Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi instantly expressed effusive delight in his comment, a defining moment in our nation's democratic journey. Congratulations to 140 crore Indians. I thank all the Rajya Sabha MPs who voted for the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. Such unanimous support is indeed gladdening. The Women's Reservation Bill was the first legislation to be cleared by both houses in the new Parliament building. There was no abstention during the voting proceedings that was formally presided by Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, hailing the passage of the bill, commented, "Where there is a will, there is a way. A historic milestone is achieved today on the path of equitable governance." Earlier, the leader of opposition Mallikarjuna Kharge, while extending support to the Women's Reservation Bill, had sought to know by which year the government would implement reservation for women and whether OBCs would be added to it. Addressing the question on why a special session was called for passage of the bill, Finance Minister Mrs. Sitharaman said that the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, brought during the emergency, had frozen the date until 2000, and in 2002 it was again frozen until 2026. She said that, as per Article 82, seats have to be readjusted after each census, not just in Lok Sabha, but within the states too. 10. Draft a report on effect of technology on society. Effect of technology on society by Adrish Samanta, The Times of India, Arambagh, 15 December, man has won his dominant position on this planet by his command of technology, and more advanced civilizations have more complex technologies. Modern man has been equipped with technology in every walk of his life. Technology has revolutionized the way a man lives, works, and interacts with another man. Communication has become so improved that it has become very easy to connect with another all over the world. With the rise of social media and messaging apps, we can now communicate with friends, family, and colleagues in real time, regardless of where they are located. The internet has made it possible to search for and find information on virtually any topic. Additionally, technology has made it possible for people to access education and training, no matter where they live. The average lifespan of a man has increased because doctors and medical researchers have made significant strides in the process of treatment and prevention of diseases. Technology has made it possible for medical professionals to access patient records and communicate with other healthcare providers whenever they need. Booking of transportation system, ordering of food items or daily needs has become very easy due to technological advancement. Technology has invented machines and robots, and they are becoming more advanced day by day. They are capable of performing tasks in little time with unbelievable accuracy. This can lead to job loss and economic instability for those who are displaced. Social media and messaging apps have made it easier than ever for people to harass and bully others online. This can have a profound impact on mental health and well-being, particularly for children and teenagers who are more vulnerable to online bullying. Cyber fraud is another curse for too much dependence on technology in every field. Addiction to technological gadgets like mobile phones, computers, and other devices leads to a range of negative effects, such as eye strain, sleep deprivation, inattentiveness towards studies, and increased stress levels. We can expect to avail ourselves of advanced technologies that will change our way of living and working. There is a growing concern about the potential effects of artificial intelligence and automation. Hence, we have to keep in mind that every technological progress carries with it not only automatic benefits, but also new responsibilities. 11. Draft a report on anxiety and social media. Anxiety and Social Media by a staff reporter. The Economic Times, 10 June. Human beings are social creatures, and they need the companionship of others to thrive in life, and the strength of our connections has a huge impact on our mental health and happiness. Being socially connected to others can ease stress, anxiety, and depression, boost self-worth, provide comfort and joy, prevent loneliness, and even add years to our life. On the flip side, lacking strong social connections can pose a serious risk to our mental and emotional health. The term social media refers to the various internet-based networks that enable us to interact with others, verbally and visually. Social media enables people to express their thoughts and feelings and to receive social support. In today's world, many of us rely on social media platforms such as Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, and Instagram to find and to connect with each other. While each has its benefits, it's important to remember that social media can never be a replacement for real-world human connection. It requires in-person contact with others to trigger the hormones that alleviate stress and make one feel happier, healthier, and more positive. Ironically, for a technology that is designed to bring people closer together, can actually make one feel more lonely and isolated and exacerbate mental health problems. It is undeniable that social media doesn't have the same psychological benefits as face-to-face contact. There are still many positive ways in which it can help us stay connected and support our well-being. The benefits social media represents are as follows. We can communicate and stay up to date with family and friends around the world. We can find new friends and communities, befriend with other people who share similar interests or ambitions. We may join or promote worthwhile causes, raise awareness on important issues. We may find vital social connection if you live in a remote area or have limited independence, social anxiety, or are part of a marginalized group. We may also find an outlet for our creativity and self-expression. Multiple studies have found a strong link between heavy social media and an increased risk for depression, anxiety, and loneliness. Nothing reduces stress and boosts our mood faster or more effectively than eye-to-eye contact with someone who cares about us. The more we prioritize social media interaction over in-person relationships, the more we are at risk for developing or exacerbating mood disorders such as anxiety and depression. 12. Draft a report on the future of renewable energy sources. The Future of Renewable Energy Sources. By a special correspondent, The Economic Times, 5 June. Energy is available on this earth in a number of forms. Some of them may be immediately used while others require some transformation process. All the developmental activities of a country depend upon energy. Both energy production and utilization are the ultimate measure for a country's progress. Energy is regarded as the key factor that leads to sustainable development of any country. Reliable energy supply is essential in all economies for lighting, heating, communications, computers, industrial equipment, and transport, etc. India's energy system is largely based on the use of coal for power generation, oil for transport, several provisions, and established many agencies that will help an industry. The government of India has already made it to achieve its goal. Renewable energy offers our planet a chance to reduce carbon emissions. It is true that fossil fuel energy becomes unavailable in near future. India may face energy shortages significantly due to increase in energy cost and energy insecurity. Increasing use of fossil fuels also leads to environmental problems. Renewable energy is a clean and sustainable source of energy derived from nature, and it has potential to provide solutions to the vulnerable energy problems being faced in India. India has become the fourth largest energy consumer in the world after the USA, China, and Russia. The renewable energy sector in India has emerged as a significant context, especially affecting the power generation capacity. This supports the government's agenda of sustainable development while becoming an integral part in meeting the nation's energy needs. The Indian government has taken several initiatives since 2010, such as introduction of the concept of solar parks, launching of a massive grid-connected rooftop solar panel and solar pump scheme with a target of installing 120,000 solar pumps under the Surya Mitra scheme. The other significant initiatives are launching of improved cook stoves, effective research and development activities in solar, biofuels, hydrogen energy and fuel cells, etc. India is the fifth largest producer of solar energy and the sixth largest producer of renewable energy. The government focused the target of renewable energy capacity to 180 gigawatts by the year 2025, which includes 100 gigawatts from solar, 60 gigawatts from wind, 10 gigawatts from biofuel, and 10 gigawatts from hydropower. Government of India, in its submission to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change on Intended Nationally Determined Contribution, has stated that India will achieve 50% cumulative electric power capacity from non-fossil fuel-based energy resources by 2030. 13. Draft a report on artificial intelligence and its application in various industries. Artificial Intelligence and its Application in Various Industries. By S.D.S. The Statesman is a December. Artificial intelligence, AI, is a machine that can simulate human intelligence, behavior, and even emotions. Modern ALS can complete moderately complex tasks like solving problems and making decisions using data inputs, recognizing and interpreting visual information, and recognizing, interpreting, and responding to written and verbal language. Artificial intelligence is a software that is programmed to think intelligently. Advanced ALS can then process new data and draw unique, intelligent conclusions based on the presented information. Artificial intelligence is a rapidly growing field that has sprawled into dozens of industries. Companies and individuals use AI to perform repetitive tasks, analyze information, and optimize other programs. It is surprising that AI has also risen to prominence in agriculture. Farmers use AI to analyze weather patterns to predict forecasts and planting schedules, determine the best crops to grow, address pest attacks, and measure conductivity and pH. The combination of AI and robotics helps farmers harvest crops faster and more efficiently than human laborers. Companies use AI to predict trends, analyze performance, and assist with inventory management. Artificial intelligence helps boost educators' potential. AI is used to facilitate automation in repetitive and data-heavy tasks, like grading homework, scheduling meetings, managing multiple online courses at once, sending personalized study guides. The field of finance has leaned heavily into the communications to students, creating or digitizing lectures, and while education is still dominated by human personnel, use of aluminum at every level. As artificial intelligence has made its debut in the medical field as well, besides processing data, schedule meetings, organize files, and transcribe medical notes, of applications of artificial intelligence, Consider how robots rely on AI to automate surgeries. Machine-led surgeries are more precise and less invasive and have a smaller margin for error. Some programs have also adopted AI to help interpret body scans, like MRIs, to detect harmful growths with greater speed and accuracy. AI is used in marketing to generate campaign reports, improve customer engagement, deliver online retargeting campaigns, and pivot advertising methodology. We can find artificial intelligence in the automated driving programs used by Tesla, Audi, Volvo, and others. Email account likely uses AI to filter out spam and illicit content. Our smart devices also use AI for facial recognition programs that log into devices and authenticate transactions. 14. Draft a report on sustainable development and green initiatives. Sustainable development and green initiatives. The Times of India, 10th of December. The Green Initiative aims to scale up the International Labour Organization's ILO knowledge, policy response, and capacity to manage a just transition toward greener economies and a sustainable future. The Green Initiative is also the conduit for actively greening the ILO's own operations at headquarters and in the field, building on the ILO environmental sustainability policy and management system. The Green Initiative focuses on the following areas of critical importance: advance research and understanding of the challenges and opportunities for the world of work arising from a green transition forge policy. Responses from the world of work in all sectors to ensure decent work and social justice for all, and build strategic partnerships at national, regional, and international levels. It provides a platform of knowledge and research to further build the case that decent work approaches and social dialogue are indispensable for truly transformative change. The Greening with Jobs shed groundbreaking evidence of the impact on jobs of a transition to a low-carbon, climate-resilient, and circular economy. In global level, it is to boost the ILO's standing as the global center of excellence on current and future implications for the world of work, climate change, and the transition to a greener economy. In national level, it enables countries to adopt and implement employment and social policies in support of national commitments on climate change. ILO policies and practices make use of it to increase the understanding and use by member states, social partners, UN agencies, and international development partners of the importance of employment, social protection, and equality in the transition to a greener economy. The Green Initiative also serves as a vehicle to expand strategic partnerships, such as with the UN Climate Secretariat, UNFCCC, the Partnership for Action on Green Economy page, the NDC Partnership, and other global initiatives. The ILO Green Jobs Program hosts the Secretariat of the Green Jobs Assessment Institutions Network, GAIN. Both climate change and its necessary response have become critical considerations in the promotion of full and productive employment and decent work for all. The ILO's mandate to promote social justice requires the organization to provide its fullest support to all its constituents around the world in acting on climate change. The organization's involvement is founded in the shared understanding, recognized in the Paris Agreement on climate change, of the imperative to ensure a just transition for all. 15. Draft a report on the impact of automation and robotics on the job market. The Impact of Automation and Robotics on the Job Market by Sampriti Sarkar. The Statesman, 23, June. With the discovery of machine, we are on the threshold of a new age of automation. Automation is a process through which technology and applications are used to carry out the work efficiently and reliably instead of being carried out by humans manually. Automation helps to efficiently carry out repetitive tasks which otherwise needed to be done by human manually, and by doing so, automation helps to save time and cuts down the cost of production or project. Automation has taken over a lot of jobs, and as a result, many people have been unemployed because of it. But on the other hand, automation is also creating new jobs. Automation replaces job that was previously carried out manually by person. Implementation of automation has created some jobs as well, but to carry out those jobs, you need to have certain qualification and skills that the people who lost their job might not have. As the technologies continues to advance and computers become more and more efficient and powerful, it is more than likely that companies and industries will replace more and more people with computers because of its reliability and efficiency. Since the job automation will eventually create a divide, as in people who have a lot of income and people who very little income. This will create an unbalanced economic society for this reason. It is important to consider universal basic income for the future, as people should be earning certain income or getting enough money to support them. Providing training to use the current employees even after adoption of automaton can help tackle the issue of unemployment. A major ethical concern is that if all the big business or fields that require manual labor start adapting to automation in form of machines or software, then eventually there will be less and less need for manual job handling. The data collection through automated apps also raises issues regarding privacy, as well as the scope of data breach. In the age of artificial intelligence, which takes automation to the advanced level, keeping the data collected secure is a problem within itself. In summary, there are many issues revolving around automation and employment rate, but at the same time, it has yet to have a big impact. In conclusion, the job automation is currently in rise, but we still have time to think and strategize possible solution to the problem.